if you are upset, what do you do? Do you cry in a different room? Do you lam up and don't let nobody in? When it comes to emotions, we all tend to hide it one way or the other. We all do it. And instead of hiding it, I think that we ought to use it in a way to connect other people. Especially if the reason why you are upset is to do with your mum, your spouse, a sister or something. Basically, if you are continually keeping it in, this problem that you have is never ever going to go away at all. You know what helps it go? Talking about it. Talking about the elephant in the room. Talking about what you're not supposed to talk about. Which, trying to make other people talk about things that they don't want to talk about in the first place is frustrating enough. But what if you want to talk about it? How can you make the other person listen? How can you make that other person hear you? Well, I think if they are not ready at all to hear it, it is never going to go down well at all. What you have to do is you have to pick your timing. Timing here is all important. Pick a time when they are less stressed. Pick a time when you feel comfortable around them. Pick a time that you can feel comfortable about talking, and then talk it through with your mum, your partner, whoever it actually is. I have been on the internet and lots of women ask the same question: how can I get my man to open up? Or even, and I think it's macho to hide what they feel away from us, because they don't want us to, as women, they don't want us to see them upset. In fact, this is one of the reasons as to why men are allowed to get angry and pissed off. If they ask for something and they don't get it, they are allowed to have a right to be pissed off about it. But anger is a cover-up, which I have mentioned at times. It's not always, but sometimes anger is a cover-up in helping this person cope with emotions, or some people can deny soft emotions by pulling away. You know, it's all in here, all is, that's what we've been told. Generations of like, it's like the conversations I'd have with me and mum, the conversations mum and my nan would have together. At times we think we have men all worked out. Actually, no, we don't. And men go on and on. Well, they don't go on as much about us as we do about them, because men aren't ones to get help. It's us that goes the 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, it's usually the woman that goes to get help. And basically, I know we hide our emotions, yes, and we do it as much as we can, but I think it's sad. I think it's sad to try and hide all emotions, because women, most women I know, are all about emotions, and that is how we connect with each other. You know, if you see someone at work crying in toilets or crying at home, or, you know, it's like, oh, you know, and then all of a sudden your nurturing side, your protective side comes out, and you actually want to help them if you can, but sometimes they just want to moan and they want someone to listen to. So, you know, it depends from person to person. Or to be able to actually talk about things, it's how can I put it? It's not brave at all. It's not. It's actually not brave to hide emotions when you are upset. It's not. Because if you really think about it, why do we hide our tears? Why do we go into a different room once we get upset? To show emotion takes a lot of courage. And if someone is confident enough to get upset in front of you, yes, it can happen. How you react to it is crucial. You want to be understanding. You need to come down to them. You need to talk it out. Because if someone is that comfortable in doing that, coming to you and getting upset in front of you, you have the opportunity to help them, and you have the opportunity to learn. And if you go, oh, it's no big deal, well, of course it's a big deal to them, or they wouldn't be getting upset in the first place. Or, you know, or some people are so uncomfortable with emotions that they don't have time for this person who is getting upset in front of them. So it is important, even if you find it difficult, you need to calm down and talk to them. Or even if you can't do it at that moment in time, just say, Mommy will be with you in just a couple of moments. she's going to go downstairs and make a drink, and she's going to come up. That way you can have time to prepare yourself, because this is the conversation you need to have, especially if it's a child, your kid, even if they are 6 years old or 13 years old or even in their 20s, you know. So, you know, you have to make the time for other people. And what I understand is emotion on us, okay? So with my husband to be, I've only ever seen him cry twice. Once was when I was dating him, and he was talking about his dog that he used to have, and basically it is a bit of a sad story. This dog was a rescue dog, and at times it had fits. No, they were scary when they actually lasted, but the dog seemed to get over it and it seemed to be okay. But this one time, the dog came into his room, went on his bed, you know, because that happens at times, and he had a fit. He had a fit and he passed away. And my boyfriend at the time, I could just see on his face with his little tears, and I was like, oh my god, I just put my arms around him and I held him so tight, but that was all it took. He shared something really personal to me of him, and I saw him get hurt and I saw him cry, and automatically you put your arms around each other, and he's seen me upset. I get upset far more than he does, because I'm a woman and we do tend to get a little bit more upset than men do. Whereas a man can be angry and pissed off, but sometimes us women need a good cry every now and again. And I don't do it all the time, don't get me wrong, but if I am upset, it does mean that there is something really, really up, and he actually knows that. So it was the other day, even he came home off work and he just had a bad day, and I'm like, I didn't actually know that, because I went to greet him at the door, ask him if he's alright. He's like, no. What? Why? I want to know, because I want to know all the answers. And he just wasn't with it at all. And he did seem pissed off. He's not going to get upset, he's not going to cry, especially these days. There is a lot of pressure on men to actually be macho, to act like men, to not get upset, to not go in tears. So yeah, you have to think about that at times with men. What are they really upset at? Sometimes anger is a cover, as I have said more than once, for pain, distress, or whatever. Sometimes people just are in a bad mood and they can't snap out of it. They feel irritable. I mean, I've had days like that, and if I'm just, I've just sat down and I'm gonna eat like a chunk, and I'm gonna watch TV, and then the house phone goes, and I'm like, who's that? I mean, leave me alone. I don't want anyone to call. But and so usually stress is a build up of lots of hidden anger at times, or unexpressed anger, especially with women. But to be able to communicate, to be able to talk to your husbands or your kids or whoever it actually is, you need a moment, excuse yourself, tell them to sit down and say, I'm just going to get you a cup of coffee or whatever, and we can talk. That will give you a couple of moments to go and, be like, or whatever, and then you can come back up and engage that person, because I think it's more important to actually do it when they are upset or angry. Not always that much when they are angry, but sometimes some people need a big long rant. They actually do, and then it's out of their system. So you need to take into consideration lots of different things. But what I will say is this: if there are problems in your relationship and you clam up and you don't talk about them, these problems are not going to ever go away. They're always going to be there under the surface. They're always going to be there until someone eventually explodes. I think it's important to be able to talk. I always have done, and even if I've wanted to talk, my mom or my dad or my sister isn't exactly negotiable or in the best of moods. So you do need to think, and you do need to work it out, because they can't be angry 24/7 all and stressed all the time. Pick your time, pick your moment, and you can talk about things, but you yourself need to be in the right frame of mind, because if you go at them with a torch and as if you're actually going to hurt them, then that's not the way to do it at all. You need to be calm, take a deep breath. I know people say that, but if you think about it, if you do take a deep breath, if you're initially angry and you take a breath, it stops the anger from escalating. It actually does. Try it. But you need to be able to talk to the people closest you. And if there are any problems in your relationship, work them out. That's the whole idea. Instead of, oh my God, we have a problem. Right, I'm never going to talk to you ever again. No. Right, but that's not the answer. That's not the solution. That is how more problems happen. You need to be able to talk to each other, not clam up and hide behind a stony wall of silence. You need to express what is going on. Is this person in your life important to you? Is this relationship equally important to you? If the answers are yes, you need to do something about it. If they're not willing to listen or understand, that's a different issue, but you have to be open to hearing at the same time what they have to say back, because it's one thing you going in and say, when you come home late after work, I feel like I'm not important to you, instead of, you make me feel like this every time you come home, because that just puts people's backs up. And I think you can have a better relationship with people if you can either directly assert yourself with them and try and have a clear head, but you need to be open to what they have to say as well. Perhaps there are things that you are doing that they don't always like, but come on, at the end of the day, we can't always nitpick. I mean, I don't like it when my other half, if I've done a bowl of soapy water to clean all of our cloths, if he comes along and he puts a dirty cup in it or a dirty plate in it, you don't want to nitpick to all the nitty and gritty bits, because that's just going to wind each other up. But just make sure the important issues are talked about. I mean, I think it's so much better, and you feel better in yourself as well when you can be open and honest with your mum or your other half or your